I call the Bristol, Tennessee Better Property Board to order for January the 28th of 2021. First order of business is roll call. My name is Pam Offield.
Randy Cook.
Lonnie Barrett.
Let the record show that we do have a quorum and we can conduct business. Now we need for Danielle to tell us why we need to conduct this meeting electronically.
Certainly, Madam Chairwoman. The Governor Lee has issued executive orders allowing governing bodies to meet electronically during the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. In order to take advantage of that, the governing body has to make a determination that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans. This board has previously had discussions about that and has made that determination. But at this time, if there's any discussion that needs to happen, then you should have that discussion. If not, then you should go ahead and have a motion and a second and a roll call vote as to whether you believe it's appropriate to meet electronically in light of the COVID-19 pandemic.
And Madam Chairwoman, Tim Beavers. Wayne, can you hear us now?
I can, sir.
So Wayne is present at this point.
All right, thank you. Is there any discussion as to why we should or should not have this meeting electronically?
Madam Chair, I move that we have this meeting electronically.
I'll second Randy's motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor that we do conduct our Better Property Board meeting for January the 28th, 2021 electronically. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
And Pam, which is an aye.
Madam Chairwoman, if I could interrupt, one necessity is that if you are attending electronically, such as attending by phone only without video, as Mr. Humphrey is, the governor's order does require that you identify yourself when you're speaking. So that's in case anybody loses video or switches their camera off.
Is that because we are recording?
It's because the public they may have difficulty understanding who's talking if the person who doesn't have video doesn't identify themselves.
Let the record show that Wayne, who does not have video, but he has audio, has voted yes to have the meeting electronically.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now, has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the December 3rd, 2020 meeting?
Yes.
Do I hear any corrections or additions to these minutes?
Madam Chair, this is Randy Cook. I move that we accept the minutes as submitted.
This is Lonnie Barrett. I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor that we accept the minutes for December the 3rd, 2020 as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Let the record show the motion is carried. We will accept the minutes. Now, even though Wayne is not on video, I've called his name and he did answer. So that should qualify for him saying his name. Is that correct, Danielle?
It should be enough to identify who was speaking, yes.
All right, thank you so much. Now, we're going on to preliminary investigations, and we have 2089 King College Road.
This property we have received multiple complaints on regarding some junk and debris piles, and I'm not sure if you can see my mouse cursor, but over here in the tree area in the tree line, they've put building materials and junk and debris all along the tree line, as well as another spot on the property. Another complaint was the dilapidated barn that's there as well.
Now, we're just talking about the barn and the debris around the barn, aren't we? There's no home or anything like that that's involved in this property, is there?
Right. It's just the accessory structure there. It's the barn. no other structures on the property.
Okay.
So the staff is requesting a public hearing at the February 25th, 2021 meeting.
Madam Chairman, this is Wayne Humphrey. I move that we schedule 2089 King College Road for a public hearing due to the junk, trash, and debris on the property for the Better Building Board February 25th meeting. Better Property Board. Better Building Board.
This is Randy Cook. I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the second on the floor that we have a public hearing at the February 25th, 2021 meeting on the property located at 2089 King College Road due to junk, debris, and dilapidated structure. Is there any further discussion on this? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
If the record shows the motion is carried, and we can go ahead and have a public hearing at the February 25th meeting on the property at 2089 King College Road. Going on to public hearings now. And the first one is 701 Alabama Street. And reading from our.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
Madam Chairman, this is Wayne Humphrey.
Yes,
At
Wayne.
the suggestion of the staff, I move that we reschedule this public hearing, or public hearing for the February 25th meeting of this Better Property Board.
Due to what reason?
Due to their inability to make proper contact with the owners of the property to for proper notification.
Thank you.
This is Randy Cook. I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor that we reschedule the public hearing on the property located at 701 Alabama Street to the February 25th, 2021 meeting due to the inability of the city to contact the owners of this property. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
Let the record show this motion is carried, and we will reschedule the public hearing on the property at 701 Alabama Street to the February 25th, 2021 meeting. Going on to 705 Alabama Street.
We have the same situation here with this property. It is the same property owner as 701 Alabama, and we've not been able to make contact, so we are requesting to postpone the public hearing until the February 25th, 2021 meeting.
This is Randy Cook. I move we delay the public hearing on 705 Alabama Street to our 25 February 2021 meeting for the reason that we've been unable to contact the property owner.
This is Lonnie. I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor that we do reschedule the public hearing on the property located at 705 Alabama Street to the February 25th, 2021 meeting due to the inability to contact the owner. Is there any further discussion on this? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
Let the record show the motion is carried, so we will reschedule the public hearing at 705 Alabama Street till February 25th, 2021 meeting. Now we're going on to 2662 Anderson Street. And looking at my notes here, do we have anyone from that property on our Zoom waiting room? Doesn't sound like it, does it?
Madam Chairwoman, I would need to take a pause here, and Shane, if you can pause it for people to call in. If you could ask people to call in the number they see on their screen if they want to comment on this property, it would be appropriate at this time.
All right, thank you. Now discussing the property at 2662 Anderson Street. Ms. Cheyenne.
So this property came to us early of 2020 due to vagrants making entry and living in the home. They were building fires inside the home as well. As you can see, there's some windows missing there on the side. The front porch had fallen in. That has since been removed. The inside was in deplorable conditions as well. The property has since sold to Eddie Bowling, and he has plans to demo the property himself, and the permit has been applied for. The damage assessment that was performed does show 100% damage consisting of severe damage to the substructure, exterior finish, and foundation. So staff is requesting an order to demolish with a 60-day completion date.
Any discussion, gentlemen?
Madam Chair, I move that we issue an order to demolish the property at 2662 Anderson Street due to an estimated damage assessment of 100% consisting of severe damage to the substructure, exterior finish, and foundation.
I'll second motion. Ms. Lonnie?
We have a motion and a second on the floor that we issue an order to demolish the property located at 2662 Anderson Street with a 60-day time limit due to 100% severe damage to the superstructure, external finish, and foundation. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
Let the record show the motion is carried. We will issue an order to demolish the property located at 2662 Anderson Street within the 60-day time period. Going on to trash and debris, we have none. Going on to old business, and we have none. Now we're going on to progress reports, and we have 120 Ester Street. And I do believe that we do have someone in the waiting room, William Clark. Is that correct?
No, Madam Chairman, they did not call in and indicated to Ms. Powers that they could not be in attendance due to having to work tonight.
Okay, all right. So we have no one in that particular waiting room for that.
That is correct, Madam Chairwoman.
All right.
So this is the property that we had previously had an order to demolish issued. Mr. Clark did provide us with a written statement requesting the board rescind the order to demolish and issue an order to repair. And I did include that in your all's packets.
Yes, we have it.
So he has been doing a lot of work on the inside as far as just kind of cosmetic work. He's painted, he's patched up some of the drywall, and he's laid some new plywood down on the floors. And with the new damage assessment, the percentage for damage is at 36.9%, which is much lower than what we started with. And with the repairs that have already been made, we feel that adequate information and evidence has been given to us to show that sufficient repairs will be made by the property owner.
Diane, this is Randy Cook. I have a question. Has Mr. Clark pulled any permits?
Not that I'm aware of. He did.
Nothing he's done so far required a permit to patch the holes and stuff. He will be required to get a demo permit to take down the garage. But everything's been just fixtures and drywall patching and stuff like that at this point.
Does he understand that, do you think?
I've mentioned it a half a dozen times myself that I'm aware of. So
Okay, thank you. Madam Chair, I move that we rescind the order to demolish the property at 120 Ester Street, and that we instead issue an order to repair said property.
One at a time, Randy. Let's rescind it first.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead and make your motion now.
I move, this is Randy Cook, I move that we rescind the order to demolish the property at 120 Ester Street due to a new damage assessment at 36.9% and progress being made on interior repairs that do not require a permit.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor that we rescind the order to demolish the property located at 120 Ester Street due to the damage assessment being lowered to 36.9 and the fact that the owner has requested us to rescind this and has proved that he has made sufficient repairs that at the time did not need an actual permit to do. Is there any further discussion on this part? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
Let the record show that we're going to rescind the order to demolish. Now, we're on to repair.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Randy. That's fine.
Madam Chair, Randy Cook, I move that we issue an order to repair on the property at 120 Ester Street.
You too?
I'll second that motion as well.
Okay, Randy, do you want to put in there as to why we want to issue an order to repair?
Oh, yeah, sorry. We believe that there's adequate information and evidence provided by the property owner to show that he will make sufficient repairs to the property.
Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion on this part of the order?
Should we get a definite time frame? 60 days, 90 days?
How long is the permit when he's required to get a permit? Is it going to be for 6 months or 60 days or what? Matt?
permits would expire at 6 months typically, but we can adjust by code. That's what it is, but we have the power to adjust that.
Do you think, gentlemen, do you think we want to make it a shorter length of time?
I think we need to do that.
Okay, why don't you amend your motion to put a time limit in there, Randy?
6 months, I think 6 months is fair.
Okay, in that case, that's what the regular time frame on a permit is anyway. Okay,
sorry?
we did get a second on that, didn't we?
I'll second. I'm sorry, it's Lonnie. I'll second.
Okay. We now have a motion and a second to issue an order to repair the property located at 120 Ester Street due to the estimate being lowered to 36.9 and the fact that the owner has shown us that he has made significant repairs that will go ahead and make the property habitable and an asset to the community. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
Let the record show that the motion is carried. So we're going to issue an order to repair that property at 120 Ester Street.
Madam Chairwoman, this is Tim Beavers. Can we pause for one moment before going on to the next item? We have a caller that we need to identify who they are and what they're calling in about. And if you can hear me, your phone number starts 480. So caller, if you could unmute Shane, whoever gets to unmute the caller. And if you could identify yourself and what issue you'd like to speak to the board about. Shane, are they muted by us or them?
They have to, I think it's *6.
Caller, if you could hit *6 on your phone to unmute, that would be appreciated.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, and you need to turn off anything except your telephone.
I muted them.
Caller, if you could turn off all devices, all the sound to any device except your telephone. We're getting too much feedback through your phone. Do they have to push *6 again?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, could you identify, give us your name, address, and what item you'd wish to speak to the board about?
Yes, my name is Mark Sean St. Clair. I reside at 3740 East Kingbird Place in Chandler, Arizona, and this is in reference to 901 Georgia Avenue.
Okay, so Shane, you have that information you can put there, and he'll be on an item coming up if you can put him back as an attendee. All right, Madam Chairwoman, you can move to the next item.
We're still going to go in order. We're not going to jump to Georgia.
That is correct. Let's go in order.
All right. The next item on the progress report is 1141 Indian Hills Drive. And I do believe that we are supposed to have some people in attendance for this in our waiting room. Do we?
Yes, Madam Chairwoman, we have the owner, Kathy Compton, the realtor, Darlene Graham, and the contractor, Chris Ferran, on the line. So whenever you want to, we can promote them all at one time if you'd want. And that way you can talk to them, any of them, if you'd want us to promote them all into the meeting.
I think that would be advisable, yes.
Do you want me to say what we have first before anyone else speaks?
Yes, please go ahead, Shane.
Okay. So the photos that you're seeing now, these were taken this morning, so you don't have these in your packet. We did go out this morning to do kind of like a final walkthrough before the meeting. They have cleared out some more of the rooms since our last damage assessment when we were out there on the 22nd. Unfortunately, the stuff that they've moved out of some of those rooms, as well as the attic, has made its way back outside onto the back patio area. So on 11/30 of 2020, The back patio area was clear of junk and debris. The attic was packed full of debris, creating a fire hazard. Most of the bedrooms were clear of debris. On 122-21, the attic had been cleared out. The back patio was partially covered with junk debris, and the bedrooms were piled back up with debris. And on 128-21 today, the bedrooms have been cleared of debris. However, the backyard and back patio area are covered with junk and debris. And that new damage assessment that was performed on 122-21, the estimated damage is at 51.8%. Kathy, as well as Brent, did provide us with a written statement requesting that the board rescind the order to demolish and issue an order to repair. They also provided us with a list of repairs to be made along with the estimates. However, when we do our damage assessment, there's a little section on there that shows what repairs would approximately cost. And our assessment shows that accurate repairs will cost approximately $31,269.23, which did not match the estimate that we received from the Comptons for repairs to be made.
Do you think that difference is the fact that maybe the contractor is not going to charge them for his labor, and he's just actually putting in the cost of the items that is need to make these repairs?
Well, the thing is, even if people are donating their time and materials, there's still value to those materials as well as labor. And that's something that we have to calculate in.
So we calculated it in, but not necessarily he calculated it in.
That could be what was done on their estimate.
This is Wayne Humphrey, Madam Chairman. In looking at this, numbers are concerned. Sweat equity, do these people, intend to participate in a lot of these efforts to bring this place around?
Are you talking about like Darlene Graham and Mr. Foreign?
Well, like the Comptons, for example, who made the request to rescind the order, and they're aware of repairs to be made. So it's as I said, sweat equity on their part. Is that still considered in as a part of the total overall cost to get the repair work done?
Cheyenne, you can answer that.
And do they intend to participate? I guess is the question.
Okay, now we
consider that.
We also keep in mind we're working on the property and we're not working on the people.
Right. As far as I know, Chris Ferran, he plans to be involved with the repairs. That's something that would be a question for him.
What was the name of the gentleman that actually cleared the contents away after it was actually taken out of the house and put on the patio? Is he the same gentleman?
I'm unaware of who that was.
Okay. Well, we do have a letter from Miss Kathy stating that if it's possible to rescind the order to demolish and issue an order to repair. They've taken it down from damage assessment of 78.8 down to 51 point what?
51.8.
51.8. So they have dropped it 20%. And there has been definitely some sweat equity put into that particular piece of work done, whereas it's being moved from inside the house to outside the house so it can be hauled off and taken away. Kathy, would you like to speak with us? Darlene, Chris, you want to speak with the board and tell us your ideas on this particular piece of property? They were talking about the property.
Can you hear me? This is Darlene.
No, I can hear you. This is Darlene.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Okay. I'm excited. We've gotten so much done. Well, Kathy and Brent have. They have cleared out every room except the blue room where they're storing some furniture and stuff. But the stuff that's on the patio now is some furniture that they're trying to keep. There's a little bit of trash, but I mean, it can be cleaned up in a couple of hours. We were really slowed down because the weather has been so bad and it just became a muddy mess back there. But Chris did get everything out of the yard, you know, and he got all that debris gone. So all we have left is just that little bit that's on the back porch. They've gotten a storage unit. And over the weekend, they'll have everything out of the blue room and off the porch. It will all be in the storage unit, and we will have our last load of trash, whatever little bit of debris is there on the patio. And then that shrubbery and stuff beside the house that just needs to be cut down and cleaned up. We should have all that out of there by the end of the weekend. And then we're going to sow grass seed and put down straw to get the grass back in the backyard. But we just didn't want to do that until we didn't have to put that trailer back there anymore. Some folks from Tennessee Baptist Church, Tennessee Avenue, have stepped up to volunteer their time too. So we've got lots of help now, plenty of workers. So as soon as we get the clear, we're gonna, you know, turn on utilities and get in there and wash everything down, wash all the walls down. They've got a whole lot of knotty pine. So that's not even gonna need to be painted. It just needs to be cleaned real good with Murphy's oil. And then, you know, the other repairs shouldn't take too much. The biggest job is just going to be painting the whole interior, and we've got the paint. So it's just the manpower. And now, you know, I think we have plenty of manpower too.
Okay.
And we've got those exterior doors that we need. Chris is going to put those up, and just putting in a hot water heater. And as far as we know, those are the major things. Of course, we haven't been able to check the electric or anything, but my husband is going to check that when the electricity is able to be turned on.
Is he a licensed contractor?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
He is Steve
Now,
Grant.
back in the bathroom, there was some extreme damage back there when the bathroom area like that. Wasn't there back on the porch?
It's just where there was some water damage and the sheetrock fell down and the insulation is out.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the insulation and sheetrock to put back up in there. It's an hour job. Well, unless you finish the sheetrock, which of course we need to do that. But
Marlene,
it's a very small room. It's like a 6x8.
Do you think the difference between your estimate on how much it's going to cost to do the repairs versus what the city has might have something to do with his labor? Have you got any ideas why there's such a discrepancy?
Yes, ma'am, that's it. Because their numbers have to come, you know, with hiring a contractor who's going to be charging full price. Chris is volunteering his time. We've came up with the materials to do what they need to have done. So, you know, that's more than half your battle there. You know, if you have they're not new, beautiful materials. They're functional. And then it's just going to be the labor. You know, if you have to hire a contractor to paint, you know, you like the floors, we can rent the machine for $200 for the weekend and refinish their hardwood floors.
On the floor. Some buckling involved in it.
There's a little bit of buckling involved. That can be cut out, and I actually have a stack of hardwood flooring in my basement so that we've got the flooring to replace it with. It's just getting it in there and doing the tongue and groove to push it back into place. I did my own hardwood floors at my house, so I could do it. It might not look as good as if somebody else did it, but it can be done. And once the house has heat again, there's not much buckling, and the house has been sitting vacant. But once it has heat for a good week, that whatever little small buckling is going to settle back down most likely. But
so seems to think that the buckling is caused by the heat and the warping of that, not because of some issues in the foundations and things. Is that
right? It's just where it's been sitting vacant, and it's got all that cold air and stuff in there, the moisture going back and forth. And then there's one small place that you can see there in the floor. It looks like the flooring is gone, and that's the only damage. It's like a 2-foot space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I have, we have plenty of that wood. We can replace that and then sand it all down and just put the varnish back on it and it'll be fine. It'll be nice.
What kind of time frame are y'all thinking about?
Well, I really don't think that it'll take too long. You know, I mean, those permits are
Good for 6 months.
yeah, they're 6 months. It definitely won't take that long. But I mean, if they'll give us that long, that'd be great. But I don't feel like it'll take that long. I think a 3 or 4 day painting party will get the whole ceilings and the walls painted. If you know, if we have enough people, if the people show up that say they will. And then, you know, it takes a good week to do those floors. You got to sand them down. They're going to have to rent the machine for like a long weekend, a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sand down the floors really good. Then you have to put the stuff on. Has to sit for like 24 hours. And then you have to put poly on it 2 or 3 times, and that has to sit for another 24 to 48 hours. So that takes a little bit of time.
Definitely in that. Okay.
It'd be great if we could hire somebody to do that, that'd be great, but she doesn't have that money. But I just had some floors done and it was a little bit less flooring than what she's got, and it was $1,400. So $1,400 versus $200 or $300, because the materials plus the machine will probably come to about $300.
Okay, gentlemen. Did I hear anything from you all?
Madam Chairwoman,
Yes, ma'am.
this is Kathy Compton.
Yay, Kathy. Thanks for talking with you, dear. I knew you were in, but
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt anybody, so I was waiting.
okay. What do you think?
I just wanted to agree. There is going to be a lot of sweat labor out of my part and Brent's. There already has been, and I've done a lot of painting myself on my own. All of the work when we purchased the house, all of the painting and the wooden floors refinishing to begin with, that was all on me. I did the floors to begin with when we purchased the house, and all the painting and everything, that was all just me alone. So it's stuff that I'm used to doing as well. So, and I definitely will be putting in my own sweat labor as well. And Chris Ferran, the contractor, he's actually on here too, I believe.
Yes, he is.
And he's the one that would be doing the other repairs. And he's also the one that made the list. So he could explain that better for you if you would like.
I think that would be good.
Okay.
Chris? Are you there, Chris?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Thank you. You want to kind of explain to us the difference in price compared to what the city said and what you said as far as the repairs on this property at 1141 Indian Trail?
I think the city uses their own pricing. I do this for a living, and I would love to make $31,000 for the work that they're saying needs, done on this house. I give an assessment and a repair estimate. Do you have that list in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. If you go down through there, that's more of a real-time cost. Like I said, I don't know how the city comes up with this $31,000. It's
now let me ask you a
really,
question. This list that you gave us, is this materials or is it materials and labor?
that is materials and labor, and that's to be expected. That's not even on the low side. That's what I would normally charge someone if I did that work. So, it's completely what the city's the cost estimate they have is just it's just unreal. That's not even
Okay, so,
I don't know how they come up with it.
so by this weekend, you're gonna have that patio cleaned off down to nothing, the things that they're gonna keep and use again, are gonna be put in storage and the rest of the debris is gonna be hauled off, so that patio will be cleaned off again?
Yes, ma'am. We've already rented the storage building. I just had a problem getting a truck. I was trying to rent a U-Haul storage truck to just get it all. I could have gotten it in 2 hours or less, just get it all gone. I was having trouble renting a truck yesterday. So that's just big furniture and stuff on that one side that just needs to either go to storage or be trashed.
Madam Speaker, I'm not really sure as the contract. The city's, I've never heard from anyone from the city what repairs they're wanting made, and also what repairs that even need a permit. I mean, painting, I've never heard of anyone getting a permit to paint the interior of their house.
Well, this is something you need to take up with Matt, not with us.
Oh, I'm not, Rob, I'm not asking you that. I'm just saying the work though, of course it's 27 degrees. They've been working over there in 25-degree weather, I don't know what the problem is with the electricity, why it can't be released, and then we can get on with some heat in there and actually do some work in a real-time environment that's not 25 degrees.
Okay.
Once a permit is issued, we have stated that we can allow temporary electricity to be connected and the unfit signs can come off, but there has to be a permit issued first.
What's the permit going to be issued for? I mean, what kind of repairs? I have my list of repairs, but we need to know what the city's repairs are, a list of what they want repaired, not just painting the wall or finishing the floor.
Matt, I'll let you speak on
Going to
that.
have to be brought up to meet codes. We're going to have, light fixtures that are working and attached, outlets that function. So there's going to be some electrical. There's going to be, it's a little bit hard to tell until utilities start to come on what the damage is to the plumbing or things like that. The water heater's not hooked up right, things like that. There's several small things that are going to need to be fixed, and the extent of that's going to kind of unfold as it goes. But
did that answer your question, Chris?
No, not really. It went all around the question of we need electricity on to find out exactly what to be done.
I've expressed at least a dozen different times that power would be once the place is cleaned up and we move to the repair. When the thing is full of fire load in the attic in the house and there's wires sticking out, things like that, we're not going to have power in there to have an ignition source for the house to catch fire.
Okay. I didn't hear the other 6 times that you said that, Matt. I didn't see the wires hanging out. What room was the wires hanging out with? Because the attic was empty, but I don't think you inspected it today, did you?
I have not gone into the attic, but yes, I know the attic's empty.
Oh, okay. So the wires sticking out, if we can.
There's bare light fixtures in the bathroom and other places. I've been through there multiple times. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about the percentage of damage that it is. There has been an assessment. I've been doing this for 20 some years. It's done accurately.
Okay, let's let Chris and Matt take care of that on their own time versus the Better Property Board's time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, gentlemen, I need your opinion on this.
Madam Chairwoman, Tim Beavers, we do have a public that wants to speak regarding this item. It would be the neighbors that spoke last month, the Lays. And if you so desire, we can promote them now to the Zoom meeting so they can speak to you all, and you all can ask questions if you desire, Madam Chairwoman.
Well, we do need to listen to them, yes.
All right, and Shane, if you can mute everybody we discussed, that'd be great. Mr. and Mrs. Lay, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you'd give your name and address for the record, that would be appropriate.
Dennis and Pam Lay, 1206 Indian Hills Drive.
All right, Mr. Lay. Let's hear from you then.
Yes, ma'am. I want to voice my concern again over this property. This has been something that we have been voicing our concern for over a year now. I believe it's been condemned for over a year. And the property is really not getting any better. The last time we were there at the beginning of December, they were given almost 60 days, and there was no activity until the 11th hour, so say, the last week. Even though we had beautiful days in November and December, there was no activities whatsoever. My concern is this is something that's going to happen again. She says she got a storage unit. Is that storage unit going to be permanent, or is that just until she gets clearance to bring it all back and we're back to square one again?
Okay, Mr. Land.
Just like,
I need to bring attention. We're talking about the property. We're not talking about whether Ms. Compton will do this again in the future or has done it in the past. We need to talk about this particular piece of property.
all right, how long is a property in a neighborhood going to sit condemned with very little improvement? Because I feel a property like that is bringing down everyone's property value in this neighborhood, which in this neighborhood alone, in the last 2 years, there has been significant home improvement to almost every home within 5 homes in every direction from that home, except that home. As far as the cleanup and stuff, I do voice my concern that it's going to return, because I was one of the individuals that volunteered my time and my money to get a dumpster back in the summer to help clean it up so we wouldn't have to look at it. And then, of course, it didn't go any further. They don't have, I mean, there was so much trash over their heating unit. I assure you the heating unit don't even work. They couldn't even get into the basement or the crawl space. So who knows how bad the structure is under there or the plumbing under there. I just feel that this is a problem that we have been going over and over, not just months, not every time you guys give them an extension or codes or whatever, they try to work with them and nothing changes. I mean, we're talking about what it looks like. As soon as codes left today, Kathy and Brent hauled stuff right back in the house. It was outside the house. The trash on the back porch, that was one of the problems before. They're saying they're going to haul it off. Well, why did they just throw it on the back porch if the dump trailer is already back there? Why didn't they just put it in the dump trailer? Because they have no intentions of doing it. I feel it's been going on long enough and something drastic has to be changed. If you do give them a repair, I think it needs to be very short, because according to them and the contractor, it's just a couple hours and a couple $100 worth of work. So it should already been done. In my opinion, over a year to get this stuff done should have been done. And it shows to you guys that they're not doing it. They're doing what bare minimum and then saying, oh, have pity on me. I don't think my taxes should keep going up like they are, because I make improvements in my house, but yet I got to look at that out my front window. I sit on my front porch, and that's what I got to look at. That's what I got to smell. I'm sorry, but it's ridiculous.
Okay, thank you so much.
Pay taxes for a reason.
Okay, thank you so much for coming to the board and voicing your opinion. And I think we definitely get your.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Do you have anyone else that needs to speak on this property, Mr. Beavers?
Madam Chairwoman, that's all the attendees and for this property.
Okay, I do believe we need to discuss this property between the board members now. Okay, board members, I know you're there. Don't you hide on me.
Madam Chairman,
Madam Chairman, this is Wayne Humphrey. I think we do currently have a order to. Do we currently have an order to demolish at at this point in time, or where do we stand there?
We have an order to demolish.
Okay, if that was to be rescinded, then I think this board would be obligated to maybe look at 60 days, and then to request that our codes folks go to the route of the court system, because these people, his voice was clear as to what he's been through, and my heart goes out to him because he's right. It's one thing to get this place cleaned up, but it's got to be done right, and it's got to be done quickly. And then, like I said, the next step would be the court system with our compliance folks. But that would be my position if someone were to recommend a cessation of the demolition order.
Hey, Cheyenne here. The Comptons are still currently under a $50 per day civil penalty that was put into action in August of 2019 through municipal court with us.
They're already under the court, in other words.
Yes.
Well, that hasn't worked very well, has it? This is Wayne Humphrey.
It doesn't look like it works at all. Okay, Randy, you started to speak.
I'm sorry?
You started to speak, Randy?
No, I'm still thinking.
Still thinking, Mr. Barrett?
Cheyenne, this is Lonnie. Did you say they were under order for $50 per day?
Yes, since August of 2019.
Okay, I was doing some quick math there. I don't know. I can't calculate that in my head. Okay. Are they aware of that? Do they know that?
They do. They were present in court.
Okay.
Of course, now this is Wayne Humphrey, that doesn't come into play as far as their obligation to pay as compared as to our position of this building itself. It would be my assumption.
That's true, but if for some reason we issued the order, rescind the order to demolish and issue an order to repair and it doesn't get done, we cannot fall back on taking them to court because they've already been to court.
I understand. I understand that. Yes.
Madam Chairwoman, Tim Beavers, could we get, I think, Cheyenne, that court order was for junk and debris external to the home, if I am recalling that correctly. Carrie, Danielle, maybe you could clarify that. It is not for interior repairs or repair order. It was just for junk and debris exterior to the home, if I recall.
Right. So the notice of violation in that court order was for junk and debris, exterior conditions, unsanitary exterior conditions, as well as inoperable unregistered vehicles.
Just wanted to make a point of clarification there, Madam Chairwoman.
Okay, thank you so much. So theoretically, if they didn't follow through, we could take them back to court for not complying to repairs on the home. Is that what you're saying?
They weren't in court for any repairs. They were in just
No, but we could take them to court for repairs if they did not follow through when we issued an order to repair. Is that correct?
Madam Chairwoman, this is Danielle Smith. We've got options if they don't comply with the order to repair, one of which we probably taking them back to municipal court would not be effective, but we could try to get an injunction from the Chancery Court to get them to repair. However, I will say that the court process is very slow right now. The courts are not even open at this point for in-person hearings. And so I would not encourage anybody to think that you're going to get a quicker resolution through the court system than you're getting from the Better Property Board's processes.
Okay.
Madam Chairman, this is Wayne Humphrey. I move that we rescind the order to demolish at this location of
1141 Indian Hills.
1141 Indian Hills Drive. Due to the work that has been done and the community involvement to that's at least promised to come about to further the repairs.
This is Randy Cook. I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor that we rescind the order to demolish on the property located at 1141 Indian Hills Drive due to the fact that the damage assessment has gone down to 51.8%, and to the fact that the people involved have shown good faith in working with these owners and homeowners, and the homeowners themselves have showed good faith at this time in order to comply with the city's wishes. Is there any further discussion on this part? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
Let the record show the motion is carried. So we're going to rescind the order to demolish. Now.
Madam Chairman, this is Wayne Humphrey. I'd like to make a motion that we issue an order to repair for the as well as the completed removal of junk and debris from these premises, with the order to repair being as defects that we see obvious in the flooring system of the home. They had pointed out that there was maybe some electrical issues that would be involved, but in order to repair, to bring the home into compliance with the requirements of the city of Bristol, Tennessee. And I would like that to have a 60-day time period in which that these repairs will be brought to fruition.
This is Randy Cook. I second the motion.
Okay, we now have a motion on the floor and a second to issue an order to repair the property located at 1141 Indian Hills Drive and to remove the remaining trash and debris that is accumulated due to the fact that the owners have shown good faith in getting the work done, and the fact that the damage assessment has dropped to 51.8 with a 60-day time frame limit. Is there any further discussion on this?
Madam Chairman, Lonnie, could we have a 30-day review? Would that be in order?
Progress report?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, 60-day limit with a 30-day progress report.
Yes.
Okay.
I will accept, this is Wayne Humphrey, Madam Chairman. I will accept that amendment.
Thank you, Wayne. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
If the record show the motion is carried, so we'll issue an order to repair the property located at 1141 Indian Hills Drive and removal of junk with a 60-day time limit and a progress report back to the board at a 30-day time limit. All right, thank you, gentlemen, on that one. And thank the people in the waiting room for coming. We're going on to 901 Georgia Avenue, and I do believe we have someone in an attendee on that, Mr. St. Clair.
Yes, Madam Chairwoman, Shane Varney will promote Mr. St. Clair into the meeting so you can ask him questions.
I have a question either before or after he comes in. After reading the minutes and the reports, I was very confused on this particular piece of property. It said an order to repair and secure was issued on February the 28th, 2018. Okay. A permit was issued to the contractor on 6/1/20 with strict guidelines to follow and an expiration date of 6 days. Okay, that's to repair. Staff is requesting order to repair. That's at the time to be completed at 12/1/20. Now, in the letter that Mr. St. Clair said, he made the comment that he's asking for us to rescind the order to demolish and issue an order to repair. Now, what have we done?
So at the December 3rd meeting, when nothing had been done, the work hadn't been completed. They did have a permit. However, it was a code repair permit. So that's one that we can manually choose when it expires.
Mm-hmm.
It expired on, I think it was 12/1, and no work had been done since July. No inspections had been performed. No one had even been out there. So since that permit expired and no work had been done, we did a damage assessment. And at that December 3rd meeting, the board issued an order to demolish for the property.
How come it didn't reflect in the minutes here, or the report here? It should have reflected on the report. Like I say, I can go back
on
and
the
look
summary.
On the summary. It should reflect on the summary because I read that real good too.
Okay, yeah, that's my fault for not including that.
If you would. Okay. All right. That's what I need to clarify. I mean, it's what stage it was at. All right. Now, thank you so much for clearing that up for me, Cheyenne.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now, put Mr. St. Clair on and let's talk about this.
And really quick, just a little update. At the we did a damage assessment on November 30th of 2020, and those numbers were 79.9%, and that's what it still stands at.
Okay. Okay. And we still have an issue to demolish.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. St. Clair.
Yes, Madam Chairman and members of the board, thank you for the time. I know I submitted a letter. I don't know if everyone had a chance to review that, so I can review that if it pleases the board.
Your emails that's gone to Matt and from Cheyenne, that is included in our packet, yes.
Okay, so just to give you a brief background, this property, my grandparents purchased in 1974, lived in the property up until my grandmother passed in 2013. The property was thus then willed to my mother, Susan Stickle, and then she passed it on to my sister, Andrea Nicole Stickle. Unfortunately, Andrea was incarcerated in 2018, was not able to keep up with repairs. I took over paying taxes. We had the discussions of repairing the property with an intention to eventually rent it out to keep it with the family. So I had some communication with Matt Bailey, and of course with his predecessor as well, prior to him taking over his current position. I have kept up the outside of the property as far as being mowed, being trimmed and things of that nature. I then came up with money out of my own retirement account. I put forward $20,000 my own money to do the HVAC. Which the HVAC was started. The permit was granted, as we previously mentioned, but 2 HVAC units were installed, 5-ton and 3-ton. I know I submitted them in my pictures. I don't see any of the pictures have been included here, as well as all the ductwork and new windows have been replaced on the side of the home. So during which Leon Denton was my main contact. Through H.S. Martin Construction, and Gary Smith was the general contractor that got the permit. I started losing contact with Leon. I was asking for, before I submitted another $20,000 for progress updates on the work that had been done. It wasn't until late September that I finally got some pictures, again, of all the HVAC and duct work. And again, those are not reflected in these photos, but the photos that I submitted, you can see that one new window is put up there. So I, again, requesting to rescind. So in June of this year, I've been in education for 20 years, was a director of admissions for a military division for an automotive diesel mechanic school. Was laid off due to COVID in June. So of course that made finances for me a little tightened there. So then I also moved forward to get a quit claim deed so I could move the property into my own name and possession, just my sister's situation. I was just got that from the Bureau of Prisons in Alabama. Of course, with the current environment, COVID, etc., it took me about 4 months just to get her in front of a notary to sign off on that. So as soon as I got that, I submitted it right away to the deeds department there, Sullivan County. So as of November, I've now taken ownership of the property. So I've requested again to rescind the order to demolish so I can continue repairs. Now that I have the home, I can, in my name, I own it. I can now get additional financing, and I also have financing secured now to continue with starting with the electrical work, and then the plumbing, and then fixing, of course, as you can see, the remaining drywall to rent the property.
And time frame are you talking about, Mr. St. Clair?
I put up a proposed timeline to finish the electrical, new breaker boxes, all new wiring to be conducted by April 30th. The plumbing to commence to follow in May, to be completed by June 30th, and to have everything in a livable condition, per the city and the code, to rent the home by September 1st.
Are you still working with the contractors that you've had such a hard time getting in contact with?
No, ma'am. I've had some communication with them. Again, I feel with the amount of money that I've given them, that it kind of took me a little bit more than I should have been. I still I'm working with Volunteer Electrical Solutions, LLC. They were originally subcontracted through HS Martin Construction. I do have another quote to kind of competing with them on that. So I'll move forward with them if I am, able to have the permits needed in this order rescinded.
But they'd be just doing the electrical, correct?
Starting with the electrical, yes, ma'am. Then the plumbing, and then we'll finish drywall and all repairs to make it a livable condition to rent out.
Going with a different contractor, doing the plumbing and the repairs?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But you don't have one lined up at this time?
A+ plumbing and drain cleaning, ma'am, for the plumbing.
Oh, okay. And you're going to use this for rental property?
Yes, ma'am.
So in other words, you won't be coming back to Bristol to live in it?
Not planning on it. I spent time in Bristol when I lived with my grandparents for a couple summers, and I did go to Fairmount there for 5th grade. So do have fond memories of Bristol. Played baseball in the summers, so it has a place in my heart.
Gentlemen?
I don't like this thing we're doing remotely, but I'll just go ahead and ask some questions. I'm reading what Cheyenne's provided us. It said you provided companies that were said to be doing the electrical and plumbing work and said completion dates.
Yes, sir.
Codes contacted both companies and no contracts have been put in place, and neither company was given quotes. Completion dates are looked at the property.
I do have actually, sir, and I think I submitted it with the original information through HS Martin. And let me just pull it up here. Give me 1 second. So I do have installed new plumbing, A+ plumbing, 13,200 was the original quote there. And then electrical through Volunteer Electrical was 22,900. I do have another competing quote for 18,000. So just need to make the determination there on the electrical.
So in other words, you're saying you've got quotes, but you've not got any contracts issued to any of these companies, and these companies have not actually looked at the property at all? That's what we're led to believe.
Yes, ma'am. Per my understanding, through HS Martin Construction, the original contractor, he subcontracted both A+ and Volunteer. So, and that was under the original order, or excuse me, the code. I guess I'm not using the correct language. That was it expired in December. So
Okay, so in other words, you have no contracts with these companies at this time. All you have is quotes.
Yes, ma'am, because I did not, if the order to rescind was not going to be pulled, I did not want to, put any additional money out there because I have put about 25,000 of my own money into the property already.
I understand that. Did that clarify, Lonnie?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Randy, Wayne?
I'm looking at, this is Randy Cook. I'm looking at the documentation that Mr. St. Clair submitted to Matt Bailey, and I may be overlooking it, but I don't see a request, a written request to rescind the demolition order.
No, I didn't find an actual written request for that other than what was noted in the emails and what was noted on Cheyenne's assessment of this property. I did not find a written request either.
Ma'am, if I may, Madam Chairwoman and the board, yeah, I wrote the letter. Again, I was not, I guess, privy to previous board meetings regarding the property. Again, once I got the ownership in November, so I can resubmit a letter. I didn't realize at the time that I had to specifically request to rescind the order to demolish and then asking for an order to repair. So my apologies on not having that information to put it specifically in my letter.
Okay, I understand that.
Madam Chairman, this is Wayne Humphrey. Would the board consider a delay in action on this property until the February 28th? 27th meeting until we can receive that the request to rescind that order as per our protocol that we have followed it in the past. And I would make a motion that that we do that.
This is Randy. Let me understand, Wayne, what you want. You want us to extend the demolition order until February 25th, 2021, awaiting a written request to rescind the demolition order from Mr. St. Clair by that time. Is that correct?
Yes, and just kind of without saying, allowing him a bit of time here to maybe get some things tied down, which needs to be done far more fully than has been done thus far when we come back to this board in 30 days.
How can he spend another nickel when it's under demolition order?
Thank you, Wayne.
Okay, now understanding, Wayne, are you putting in a motion that we extend, we ask for a 30-day progress report in order to receive this order to rescind from demolition and take it to repair?
Yes, Madam Chairman.
And that in the form of a motion, is that correct?
Yes, yes, Madam Chairman.
Well, I'll second that motion, and sounds like you need to stay busy, Mr. St. Clair, on the phone or emails, whatever.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor that we actually have a progress report at the February 25th, 2021 meeting on the property located at 901 Georgia Avenue in order to give Mr. St. Clair time to get in an written request for us to do as he has requested, issue an order to repair and rescind the order to demolish. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Randy?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Lonnie?
Aye.
All right, let's show that motion is carried. So Mr. St. Clair, get that letter to us and so we can get it in our next month's packet. It does need to be here at least 10 days before these packets come out to us for the 25th. So the sooner you can get it, the better. And also maybe you can get some things ready to go or getting some ideas on their property at your 901 Georgia Avenue.
Yes, Madam Chairwoman. And does that need to be U.S. postal mail or can it be emailed or that written request?
You can email it like a Word document, or you can mail an actual written request.
Yes, ma'am. I'll do the written request, sign it, scan it, and then email it if that to you, Cheyenne.
Yeah, that's fine.
That would work. All right. Thank you for coming, Mr. St. Clair.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I appreciate it, and to the board.
Hearing from you next month, too.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be on.
All right. Going on to our next property, which is 1105 Broad.
The board had previously issued an order to repair for this property at the October 22nd, 2020 meeting due to unmaintained siding and guttering, broken windows. And we actually did provide Mr. Cornett, the property owner, with Christina Blevins' contact information to see if he could get help through the city to make these repairs to his home. He unfortunately did not qualify for the program to receive aid to make repairs to his home. No permits have been applied for or issued, and no work has been done. There's still broken windows as well as unmaintained siding and guttering. So codes will begin the court process. However, as Danielle mentioned before, courts are currently shut down right now. So my next available court date isn't until June as of now. But we will go ahead and get that process started.
So you're basically going to table this particular property until June?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't need a motion on that, do we?
No.
Okay. Table to June. All right. Then we're going on to 1405 East State Street.
So this property has transferred over to a neighboring property owner, Brett Kazee, and he has actually already pulled the demo permit and started the demo on it. He's already got the house torn down. It's just what's remaining is just the foundation, as well as some materials that need to be cleaned up. And we are requesting that due to the permit being issued and work being done, we're recommending a progress report at the March 25th, 2021 meeting.
This is Randy. So we don't need to do anything.
No.
Don't we need to issue a motion for a progress report at the March meeting?
We don't need it.
Okay, well, just bring it back to us at the March meeting then.
Okay.
Okay, there's one that's on the agenda. Mr. Beavers, is there anything you need to tell us today?
Yes, ma'am. If y'all would consider, I think it would be appropriate, and especially with the policies and procedures of the board, to let us get those back out to everybody, the current version that we have. I assume everybody has that, but let us email that back out. And next month, possibly discuss changes, any changes y'all may want to see to those policies and procedures. One that we have been thinking about staff-wise is this, where we've got the 15 days prior to the board meeting to ask for rescission of an order to demolish, to maybe change, just be thinking about it, to change that to say, once an order to demolish has been placed on the property, you know, typically there's a 60-day time frame that is given to the property owner to do that, that they would have to come back and request a rescission prior to the board meeting, prior to that 60-day, you know, time frame. So that way you're not getting requests to rescind orders to demolish.
Yes, sir.
After the 60-day time frame. I think that's where we've seen, and that's looked in my mind at least, that we're seeing things that are happening somewhat difficulties with these orders to rescind. And, you know, it's just some food for thought, is that if you're going to ask for a rescission of that order to demolish, to do it within that 60-day time frame, you know, 15 days prior to that board meeting, prior to the expiration of that order to demolish on the property owner.
It's a very good idea.
It's onus that they have to perform in that 60 days after that order to demolish, and not after that time frame. And I think that's that, from a staff perspective, that's what we'd like to discuss, something like that next time at the board meeting. And we'd also like y'all to review those. We'll make sure to get the current copy out to you all, and make sure you have those, and anything else in those policies and procedures, you know, once you look at them, that you may want to discuss or change at the next board meeting. I think that would be very appropriate at this time to do that, just to make sure we're all still comfortable with those policies and procedures as a board. So
if we wanted to change anything about it, what would we have to go through to do that?
Madam Chairwoman, it just involves they're your policies and procedures, and so if you discuss them and you vote on them at a meeting, then you can change them.
In other words, it doesn't have to go through the state or Tennessee and go through.
No, ma'am. You adopted them several years back. The board adopted them, and so you guys can adopt amendments to them.
Okay. Now I've got a question. What's the time frame as far as the governor is concerned on meetings and 10 people? Have we heard anything?
Well, the current executive order, all of the executive orders issued by the governor are kind of set to expire on February 27th, I believe, right now. But his practice has been to issue a 60-day order and then to renew it close to the end. And so we may not know until late February whether we're obligated, you know, what our abilities are.
We should basically plan on doing this definitely by Zoom next month, and maybe possibly on past that, but we should still definitely do it by Zoom next month.
Well, it's all up to you. The governor's order didn't say you had to have Zoom. The governor's order said you could meet by Zoom. But the difficulty we run into is that with so many people appearing, it can get to be a big group.
Right, and you're talking 10 people at these meetings. Well, my goodness, you've got 10 people just in the board and the city officials.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you will have the ability to meet electronically on February 25th, I think is the date of your meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So,
Danielle, didn't the governor extend the electronic meetings through March?
No, Tim, I misspoke when I said that on Tuesday. That's only through, the courts are closed through March. Okay. So I got my dates mixed up.
No, that's fine. Good, thanks.
All right, well, that's good to know. I mean, I assumed with, the rise in COVID, but with the numbers going down, I wasn't sure whether they're coming up or they're going down. One time you hear one thing, one time you hear another, so.
Very true.
My second shot tomorrow, yay. Okay, anything else you want to bring before the board?
No, Madam Chairwoman, I believe that's all we have.
Okay, then I declare this meeting adjourned by common consent.